Good morning and happy Friday. The tie-dye is done, obviously. So this is what this shirt looks like. Can we see it? Yeah, this is like the purple and teal. I'm actually really loving this. And then I want to show you the other ones, obviously. Some of them I like better than others. I think a lot of them look really, really good. We have two different types of shirts here. One is Hanes that we bought at Target, and the other one is the Gildan style shirt, or the Gildan brand shirt, I don't know, from Michael's. And you can come in. You can't touch it yet. No touching. He hasn't really seen the full thing yet. I already showed my shirt in the mirror, so we're just gonna show these ones. But what I was saying is, on the directions when you open the box of the dye, and yes, my hands are a little bit dyed because I got tired of wearing gloves when I was wringing them out last night and rinsing them. But on the actual instructions inside the box of dye, it does say to pre-wash your shirts. I always forget to do that step, and because I wanted to get it done while Presley was napping, I did not pre-wash. The Hanes obviously didn't matter. It soaked up the dye wonderfully. The Gildan shirts, we tried to soak them after I had already twisted them, because that's what we decided to do. And the dye did not penetrate very well, so if you want a lot of white spaces with your tie-dye, do that. What you're not supposed to do that. They didn't come out horrible or anything, but they were not originally what I intended. Okay, so we're gonna start from the big stuff down, because those are mine. So this ended up being the pink and black. Again, this is because it's a Gildan style shirt, and so there's a lot of white space, but it's not too bad. This is the kind of stuff that I would wear with leggings or as pajamas. These are extra large. I'm currently wearing a large right now, so like extra space in them. And then we have one more of those. This is a blue and teal, but again is just extra white space. Now the larges turned out really well because they are the Hanes ones. So this is a pink and teal, blue and purple. I like this one a lot. And black and purple. This one reminds me a lot of like 90s grunge for whatever reason, but I love this one too. Turned out really nicely, which is surprising because I didn't think I was gonna like the black tie-dye. Then we have a medium. These are Gildan again. This is a blue and black. I actually like this one a lot because we thought the blue and black was gonna be very, very dark, just based on what it looked like as a ball. And then we have a medium blue and purple. I do feel like the mediums worked out a little bit better than the extra larges, probably because it was not so much fabric tied up where you couldn't see it. And then we have teal and pink. And then we have Presley's onesies, which I absolutely love. So we have a blue and pink, but blue and pink, I like this one a lot because it's like pretty bright. Then we also did a teal and black, which I like as well. Yay! So nice. Presley!
这件是你的，然后这件也给你。
You wear your tie-dye too! Yeah! Yeah, you want mommy? But you have pretty tie-dye. Okay, so now I have a package. They delivered this while we were taking a picture with all of our cute little tie-dye stuff on. But it's this box here. It's actually quite large, but I'm pretty sure it is a pre-order that I did through Book Depository. So hopefully that's what this is, because I've been waiting for this for a little while. Okay, lots of bubble wrap in here because it is a boxed set. love these. So these are like a special edition of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. I'm loving even just the spines right now, but we obviously have to open them. And these, as I told my husband when I bought these, because they were quite expensive as a special edition, these do not count because I have read Lord of the Rings many, many times. So they don't count in my I have to read 2 books in order to buy them. Ooh, the covers feel really nice. Like it feels like a very thick, like, I mean paper obviously, but like it feels like the paper, like it's not slick or anything. This is a very nice box that these go in. Very, very thick. I'm so excited.
Can you show me the book?
Are you filming?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, because the baby? Yeah, Presley's watching. So here is The Hobbit. And it has Smog on the background. And so obviously J.R.R. Tolkien, but it does have, all of them have illustrations by Alan Lee. Ooh, opening it up. So we have like green cloth under it, but look, our map is on the end papers. And they all have a ribbon bookmark. The Hobbit is green with a green ribbon bookmark. And then it looks like the Lord of the Rings ones are all like a maroonish with a maroon bookmark. And then it does have illustrations throughout. Ooh, I'm super excited. My only editions of the Lord of the Rings that I have 2 sets right now, but they're all mass market. And the ones that I read a lot are actually the movie versions. And then here we have the Fellowship of the Ring. And then on the back we have the troll scene. And then maroon. And our end papers have the map. Ah, super excited about these. Ooh, and the titles on the pages are also maroon. So all the titles and everything are the red, but then we have an illustration. Here's the 2 towers. So we have Shelob and then the towers. Same map, but like, oh, so pretty, so pretty. And then finally, the Return of the King. And then we have the boats. Ooh, and this one's like a close-up of Mordor with Rohan and Gondor. I'm very, very excited to have these. Oh, so excited. I absolutely love Lord of the Rings. I know it's a very sort of cliche fantasy series to love nowadays, but like I actually read, I think we read The Hobbit in 5th grade. We actually had a whole unit on The Hobbit, which was very interesting now that I think about it. But we read The Hobbit and watched the cartoon movie, and then we also listened to the radio play. That was what we did. I don't know, it was awesome. And then the first movie came out, I can't remember exactly, I want to say when I was middle school, and I remember reading all 3 of the books before the second movie came out because I really wanted to know what happened, obviously. And I want to say, I think the 3rd movie came out when I was around 8th grade, possibly, because I remember talking to one of my 8th grade history teachers about it, I want to say. So I probably actually read these closer to 6th or 7th grade, but I fully remember some of the stuff going on in 8th grade. I've read these many, many times. I think I used to read these like once a year, every year when I was a teenager. And I haven't actually read them in a while. I was going to read them, I want to say a couple years ago, like when I first started my channel. I was like, oh, it's time to reread some books. But then being on BookTube, I always just feel like guilty when I want to reread stuff that I've read multiple times before because of the fact that like I have so many other books that I could read that I've purchased and need to read. But oh my gosh, I'm so excited. They're so pretty. Okay. Yeah, I spent a lot of money on these, but ooh, so happy with them. Okay. I'm maybe done fangirling over them, but okay, so we have had lunch, which is why I'm in another tie-dye shirt now. I dripped a little bit, and so I started some laundry. Presley's also asleep, so I decided I wanted to check in with you guys on Bittersweet. So I'm currently 57% of the way through on page 204. I ended on page 130 last night, so read, you know, another like 70-ish pages. And still, it's very focused on sex and lust and not romance, so I'm getting a little bit with it. The writing style is great. Like, I'm really enjoying the sort of way it's written, and it's very quick to read. However, it's just rubbing me the wrong way a little bit that it's not at all based on feelings yet, and we're already more than halfway through the book. Not only that, I've been skimming the sex scenes because they're not great. And I know this sounds weird because I was harping on the fact that they were having sex before, but that might be part of the reason why my issue is so big, is that I don't think it's well done. I actually just replied to a comment on yesterday's video talking about the, you know, sex and wants and lust versus romance. And while I do identify as a demisexual, and I do feel like that influences some of how I view romance novels, I have read and loved a series that literally starts off with a girl, and it's not like starting off like first chapter, but within the first like 2 or 3 chapters, she ends up having no strings attached sex with a guy in a band, and she's using it basically as a coping mechanism for grief. And it does take a little bit to actually get to the romance, but it turns that way pretty quickly. There is a lot of sex in that book, so even though there is a plot, I feel like it's more like an erotic romance. But at the same time, I absolutely loved even the first book in that series because you got to know the characters in such a way, and it was so believable that even though it was mostly about the sex, I didn't have any sort of issues with it. The sex was also very well written, but I'm having some issues here. One issue, and this doesn't even have anything to do with sex actually, is that our main guy character of Griffin calls Audrey Princess as like her pet name, and unless your character is actually like a rich stuck up girl or royalty, I can't stand Princess as a pet name. It just doesn't do it for me. But stuff that I've read today, one of the things that he said during sex was, farmers like to get dirty. I'm not at all liking the dirty talk during the sex that they're doing. It seems very stilted and like it's making it worse. So I am 57% of the way through, like I've said, and I think I'm less than 2 hours left in the book. So I'm going to be reading more because Presley is asleep, and I will probably let you guys know when I'm finished unless I have other thoughts that I just have to share. So yeah, it's about 1:30 and we're gonna be reading. Good job, baby.
Coi.
You gotta give the fork back if you want more strawberries. Good job. Yeah, Nana, get you another one, okay? Look, Nana, get you another one. Good job. Yeah, you're cute. Okay, so I just finished Bittersweet. Oh, it's dark in here. It got a little bit cloudy outside. But I just finished Bittersweet by Serena Bowen. I think I'm going with like a 3 stars for it, mostly because of the issues I had talked about earlier. But also, it just didn't give me like the romance I was really hoping for. So a lot of it was based around sex and things like that. But also, they sort of said that they loved each other around 91% into the book, I believe it was, which is a little late for me. It was definitely more lust sort of centered, but then they also like moved in and into the book very, very quickly after that, probably because it was less than 10% left in the book, and so it just felt very quick to wrap up. Now, based on looking at Goodreads reviews or I guess not necessarily reviews, ratings I should say, of some of the other books in the rest of the series, some people that I either follow reviews for or are friends with that have read multiple books in the series, this does look like one of the lower rated books. I don't necessarily know why or why some of the other ones are higher rated, because I didn't really want to go and look specifically into that kind of stuff, but I really did like the way it was written. Like, the writing style was very easy to get into, very quick to read. So I do want to definitely read more books by Serena Bowen, and the rest of the books in the series do look like they're more like companion novels. Each one follows a different character, and I do want to eventually, sorry, Presley stood up on the couch so he could go eat more strawberries. I do eventually want to read more in the series. It is now 3:30. Which is actually pretty good. I do want to read something else today. The thing is, I have technically, I think, 2 books left on my TBR of what I had already said. One of them is a manga, which I do want to reread it because I've already read it, but I know that if I start to reread it, I'm going to want to read more in the series, and so I was trying to put that off as long as possible. And then the other one is Avalon, which is a young adult sci-fi that I don't know much about, but it was in a group of books that my husband picked out for me, and then I did the touch in the first book, and so I like closed my eyes and touched the first book in that stack, and that was that one. It was Avalon. I don't think I actually want to read it. I have stuck to my TBR so well so far. I mean, it was only 3 books, but so well so far, but I don't think that's what I want to read. So I need to sort of figure out what I do want to read, especially since I think I want to start another book today. So let me think about it for a little bit and I will come back to you guys. It's been a few hours. It's getting stormy outside, which I enjoy, but I think I've changed my mind about how we're going to do the first one that you touch. And these are all graphic novel comic bind-ups that I purchased the last time I was at Barnes & Noble. And I was originally going to have my husband like hold them and mix them up and I would pick. But let's see if Presley will pick one. Presley, first one that he touches. Which one you going to touch? Oh, okay. Well, it's definitely not Lock and Key. It was one of these. Well, I guess technically I can just go to the instant replay. So right after that last clip, we basically had to put the baby to bed. He has been super cranky since dinner. But looking back at the footage, it does look like Paper Girls won by a super, super small amount. I am now going to be editing and getting the video ready because it is like 8 o'clock already. So I'm going to be reading this in between all the video stuff, but I'll be editing this video. So you won't actually see my thoughts on this in this vlog. So I will see you guys in the morning and that'll be the first thing we talk about.